That Bay Area. What's up, Richmond, CA? There's some real stuff right here.
I can't about coming down here.
It's IG, man.
Add on.
Once upon a time.
Add on.
I knew how to rhyme.
Keep your at home. Me on. Or me want to own. Me on type of flow.
That's all I got to say.
Me on.
All right.
Or me want to own. Me on type of flow.
Welcome back to another episode of the Add On Podcast. Let's get into it, man. I want to talk about first LeBron James hinting that he might retire. Obviously, after he got swept by the Nuggets, post-game interview, he was like, I'm not really too sure, as far as the game of basketball, his future. The reporters are always quick to ask him, what's next? You think this team's going to be better heading into year 21? I think the same group of guys could, get back to the spot or reach even farther. And he was just like, I'm not too sure. So he might, I think that he was just kind of just saying that because obviously in the moment it's just like, man, went through so much, averaging 28 in the regular season, averaging 24 in the playoffs when he probably shouldn't even play. The doctor said he needs season-ending foot surgery, but he declined that and just kind of played through it. If you really think of it, from that stretch where LeBron kind of passed Kareem, he was going crazy. I think he was averaging 30-something points per game. But in that time where he got hurt, so the end of the playoff run, I did see a little bit of decline and kind of like the explosion. You can kind of tell just a little. I mean, he was still doing the best he could do. Obviously, dropped 40 in Game 4. I mean, everybody else didn't show up, unfortunately, so he ended up getting swept. But I mean, like you said, that Nuggets team was just insane. Like I honestly thought we were going to get him maybe in 6 or 7. Boy, was I wrong. The Jamal Murray played out of his mind. Jokic proved why he's a 2-time MVP. Probably could have arguably won a third, honestly. At first, I felt like Joel Embiid, deserved it. But after seeing his playoff performance and seeing Jokic probably could have won 3 back-to-back, MVPs. You know what I'm saying? That dude is something else, one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league, because I don't think that, obviously, LeBron ain't the best anymore. KD, I don't think is the best anymore, so it's really, you can throw LeBron in there. Obviously, like I said, Jokic, you can throw Jokic in there. Steph, you can throw Steph in there. Luka. So, obviously, it's a couple dudes you can throw in there with Jokic, but Jokic is definitely at the very, very top of that list as far as top players in the league right now. So, you lost to a great team. No shame in that. But back to his retirement, I don't think he's going to retire. I think he was just hinting at it. I think that he knows this is closer to the end than the beginning, obviously, with him being 38 years of age. But for LeBron, I think that, I don't see why he would retire. If his ultimate goal is to play with Bronny, and it's very, very close. Obviously, LeBron James Jr., Bronny, committed to USC, so he's going to play a year, and then he's going to be eligible for the draft, come next year. So it's like, hey, why not? But also some other rumors that I've heard was like, LeBron retired 1 year just to get fully recovered on that foot and then come back with Bronny and go to wherever team Bronny goes to. So that's a possibility as well. I really don't know because kind of how the Lakers are constructed, I really don't know how they can get any better. They had a great team. This is like one of the best role players LeBron has probably ever had in his career, literally. Like, he's never played with a better player than AD. D-Wade not better than AD, easy. You can argue Kyrie's not better than AD. I mean, AD's a top 75 player of all time. He doesn't always show up, but his AD's probably the best, two-way player, best player period that LeBron has ever played with. So, I mean, and then the role players were nice. Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt, D'Lo, everybody was showing up. Lonnie Walker. So it's going to be kind of hard to say, who the Lakers should bring back. My number 2 guys that they should bring back is Rui and Austin Reeves. Those guys are a must. They got to bring them back. Everybody else, they can kind of fill out the roster how they want them. There's been rumors, obviously, to get Kyrie. As much as I love Kyrie, I think it's just going to be a problem with him, obviously, just jumping from team to team. Is he always reliable? And then also, if you get Kyrie, you're probably going to lose your depth unless Kyrie takes a substantial amount less than he can get. Because obviously, he can sign the max probably in Denver. Thought he already pretty much signed it. I'm not too sure. But, like I said, if he ends up going to the Lakers, Lakers going to lose a lot of their depth. So I think that With them, I think they just got to try again with both LeBron and AD healthy. I don't think they can stay healthy the whole season, but I like the team constructed. The line's got to get a little bit more consistent. But I think with these role players the Lakers got, them experiencing going to the playoffs, experiencing how serious it is and how important every game is, I feel like they can get exactly to that same spot. Like I said, like Kyrie's cool, but I think that if they got this far without him, do you really need him? Because like I said, think of it. Look, Kyrie was already on three super teams already. He was on the super team, obviously with Dallas. But Dallas was just kind of just one him and Luka, but he was another one before that with Brooklyn with KD and James Harden. That didn't work out. Mavs, that didn't work out. So he goes to Lakers with LeBron AD. Who's to say that's gonna work out? Because he's very ball dominant, and now obviously he's a better finisher than Russell Westbrook. He's a better passer than Russell Westbrook. Or maybe Russ is an outstanding passer as well. Better scorer, better shooter than Russ. So it would be a better fit than Russ would, but it would ultimately be how would that go about? Who will be having the ball in their hand most of the time? How would their depth be coming off the bench? So, I think much as I, kind of would like to see LeBron reunite with Kyrie, I think they probably should just kind of, keep it how it is now. That's just my opinion on that one for sure. And then obviously the Denver Nuggets, I think they can probably go all the way, man. I really think they can probably go all the way. They have all the tools, all the pieces that they need to have. Like I said, with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic playing out their mind. Then you got MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. I think I seen him play one time live, I think so, when he was in Seattle. I think he went to Nathan Hale in Seattle, and that dude was like one of the biggest recruits. 6'10", long, can shoot the three. That dude is pretty impressive for sure. Aaron Gordon was showing me he was knocking down shots when needed. Everybody on that, just Nuggets team just really showed up. Mike Malone, great coach, and this could be the year. I'm thinking of the remaining teams since obviously the Lakers left. I don't really care for who I would love to see to win that first ring. And I don't know. I think I might have to go Jimmy. I just feel like Jimmy deserves one. Everybody that's left deserves one, of course, but I feel like Jimmy's probably because Jamal and Jokic are young. Tatum and Brown are young. They can both be back, but who knows when Jimmy can, he's getting up there in age. He's a little bit older than those dudes. So who knows when he can, I feel like if the Lakers got to the finals against the Miami Heat, I feel like the Lakers would probably be, they already beat them before, so they kind of already know what to expect. But it's gonna be tough to see. I think that the Celtics will probably make it a series, maybe 5 or 6 games, but I don't see them coming back for 3. I just don't think Jimmy Butler's gonna allow 4 straight games for them to just stop. Even though it's just really just Jimmy or bust, I really just think they're gonna find a way to go ahead and get that done and close it out either next game or in Game 6. So I do believe it'll probably end up being Jimmy Butler versus Nikola Jokic in the finals. I think the Nuggets definitely would be the favorite. Of course, that team is just they really ain't got no weakness. They just swept the Lakers. Come on, the Lakers were a very tough team when people thought they can get far. Didn't. And that's why, like I said, if you're a Laker fan, there's nothing to hold your hat down or hold your head down. Like start the year off 2-10. 13th in the West. All these talks about Russ is destroying the team and Rob Pelinka constructed the team, beat Memphis, poking the bear, all that situation, beat the defending champions. The defending champion Golden State Warriors knocked them off, and they were all healthy. And then just ran into the better team, the Nuggets. They could have won a game. It would have been definitely better than getting swept. But like I said, LeBron up there in age and. Not even just the whole LeBron thing. I feel like LeBron showed up for the most part, considering his age, which is other people, AD, D'Lo, they just weren't showing up. Dennis Schroeder played tremendous defense, but he wasn't really giving that much on the offensive end. And then the thing with D'Lo is just like he was kind of becoming unplayable at certain points because it was like, he was playing pretty good against the Warriors. I don't know what happened against the Nuggets, though. He just, I see him staying after the game, getting shots up, but it's every game he's bricking and bricking and bricking. And then he can't guard anybody on defense. He's always fouling, so it's like, what do you want people to do? The only person I'll probably say over that entire series, Lakers, that showed up all the time was Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is him. That boy is him. That's why the Lakers need to bring him back and bring back Rui Hachimura because Rui Hachimura was scoring, defending, shooting the three, attacking the paint, guarding Yoke. Rui and Austin Reeves are 2 dudes Lakers must bring back. Everybody else, obviously we'd love to see Lonnie bring back, maybe D'Lo possibly, but those 2 are just a guarantee got to bring back. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the Lakers fill out the roster. But bottom line, what I'm trying to say is I don't think LeBron's going to retire. I just don't see why. But if I did see a retirement, I think it'll be a partial retirement from the game, just like a year way off to get that foot healed up, and then when Bronny's eligible for the draft, then go back. But I don't know. It's just kind of something LeBron got to think about. I definitely think that he at least probably has 2-3 more good years. Like I said, for somebody averaging, you got to retire when you averaging less than 20 points. That's my opinion. Like if you average 28, 8, and 6 in the regular season, then in the playoffs you average 24, in your last game you drop 40. I don't think that's worthy of a retirement. But it all comes down to your body and your mind and how you feel. And you got to realize LeBron has played the most minutes of anybody in the playoffs, I think, ever. Has the most points anybody's ever scored in the regular season and playoffs. So the amount of mileage on this dude's body, you can only imagine. 20 years, going to be heading into his 21st season next year. So we'll kind of figure that out and see how it goes. But, let's dive into, obviously, the biggest fight. I want to go ahead and just check just to make sure I got the right date. I believe it was July 29th, obviously, with Terence Crawford. And before we even talk about that, let me get my thoughts on the Devin Haney-Lomachenko fight. That was a very close fight, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was watching that fight live streamed it. Didn't pause at any point in time in that live. I was watching it, and I was getting nervous. I actually thought that Lomachenko won the fight. I'm a Devin Haney fan, but I got to be honest with you. I thought Loma won the fight just off of and I don't know. It could just be me. Devin Haney it was very, very evenly matched, but I think that, Loma probably edged him out a little bit, or it could have been a draw. But it could have just been my reaction from the crowd, because like every time, Loma would have a flurry of punches, the crowd reacted. And then the crowd from the get-go was already booing Devin. So no matter what Devin did, they wasn't really doing nothing or getting excited. So that's why I thought he won. Loma won. But after kind of rewatching the fight and kind of hearing them talk about it, those body shots were vicious from Devin Haney. Like, he was really breaking them down and stuff like that. And Shakur, he can say what he want to say. Shakur is probably, he has the potential of beating everybody been saying Shakur over everybody. So, Shakur is a bad dude. So, he can beat Devin, he can beat Tank, he can beat anybody. I do agree with that. But at the same time, yes, July 29th, the Terence Crawford fight. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But those body shots that Devin Haney was, people only remember probably, 9 through 11 or 9 through 12 for Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko probably, I think he won the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th, I think. Or if he didn't win the 8th, he may have won the 9th, 10th, 11th, and some other rounds as well. He for sure won the 11th round. I thought Haney was getting ready to drop. I was kind of getting scared for him. Like, he seemed like his legs was wobbling. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But if you think of it as well, Haney, he fought a different style fight. So if he would have fought the same way he fought Kambosos twice, I don't know if he would have won. Like, he could have stayed on the outside, kept using his jab, and just kind of was just boxing, kind of like Floyd Money Mayweather was doing. But he was kind of walking him down and just kind of walking into shots. So he was fighting it a different way. I guess you could say it won because he won the fight. And he won it by unanimous decision. So all these people are shocked and saying it's rigged, but how do 3 judges, have it as a unanimous decision victory for Devin? Honestly, I think the Rolly fight was more of a robbery than this Devin Haney fight. If you really watch the fight, all you guys say it's a robbery, right? It could be. I still think it's a close fight for sure. I think it could have went either way, even after watching it. But people forget the earlier round. People just remember the back end of the fight. No, go watch the fight from start to finish. And Haney was landing vicious body shots as well. Not just Loma. And Loma would land a lot of punches on Devin for sure. Don't get me wrong, but he would land a couple, but he wouldn't just continue at it. Every time he would land a couple punches on Devin would counter back at him. And then every time it was back and forth. It wasn't like nobody was just taking over every single round. Like Loma, he took over the entire 11. I think he almost dropped, Haney, in my opinion. But when you take account the body shots and just Haney using his jab, I think the judges may have saw a little bit more into that than what Lomachenko was doing here and there with the flurry of punches, and that's why they gave him the edge. I'm still getting into boxing, so I don't know too much about it, but that was just kind of my take on it. Everybody's so upset about it. I think it could have went either way, and I'll admit, after initially watching the fight, I did have Loma winning, but I was still happy because I'm a Devin Haney fan. But they trying to appeal the decision, do all this other stuff. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Honestly, if it's this much of a of a debate of who won, I would just, before even Haney fights Shakur or Tank, I would say this rematch with Loma. I mean, you rematched Kambosos twice to prove a point. Rematch Loma twice and beat him even better than you beat him this time, just to shut the haters up, right? But of course, Devin Haney's dad probably gonna say, "Oh no, it wasn't close." He knew, it was close. Come on, I like Bill Haney, but that fight was close, bro. They might just be a little scared to run it back, but we'll see. But obviously, the biggest fight in boxing, people are saying this could be as big as Manny versus Floyd back in 2015. I don't know if it's going to be that big, but obviously July 29th, it's I believe this time, I don't know how many times I've reported on this podcast about the fight actually happening, but I think this time it's actually true. I mean, they're already posting about it and things like that, things of that nature. They already got the undercard with Pitbull Cruz. Crawford posted on his Instagram, stuff like that. July 29th, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Errol the True Spence versus Terence Bud Crawford for the undisputed welterweight title. And I got Terence Bud Crawford. I think, obviously he's my favorite boxer, so I'm going to be biased, but I truly think that he can beat Spence. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a rematch. So it's like if Spence wins, it's going to be a pretty much automatic rematch. The only way it's probably not going to be a rematch is if they don't exercise it back within 30 days, of course, and then also if it's just like a brutal, quick knockout, which I don't see. I think I see this fight that they definitely coming out probably the first 2 or 3 rounds very cautious. Porter is the type of dude that come out the gate already swinging, but I think Spence he can fight like that as well. Spence is definitely more aggressive than Crawford. He definitely wants to make it a fight, but I don't think he's going to come out of round one and just start swinging them things, because Crawford is naturally a counterpuncher, and many regard him as probably the best switch hitter in boxing, maybe boxing history. His ability to switch from southpaw to orthodox, I think Crawford, and I don't really pay attention to that too. Like the reason why I say this, I think Crawford is going to win. I don't look at both their fights against Porter because styles make fights, and also Spence have dealt with some serious injuries, man, some car crash injuries and some stuff like that. Like that dude is like his heart and his willpower. I don't know. He's better than ever. He might be even better than when he fought Porter the first time. Like this dude is stopped Ugas, beat Danny Garcia, beating all these dudes. So I mean, Errol Spence, he is the truth for sure, and it's not an easy fight for sure. I honestly don't know. I just think that, but I'll tell you what though, if that fight Terence Crawford had against Porter, if he, I don't know if he could afford to be that unbusy against Spence, because I think I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll agree. Before he got the stoppage against Porter, I think he was down on the scorecards. Just from my eye test, because I remember watching that fight. I was watching, I think, as I was cleaning, like live streaming on my phone and stuff like that. And I remember, like, dang, Crawford, you going to do something, man. I think Porter, low-key, is winning on the scorecards. And you can see, if you actually go back, once they go back to their corner, they were like, I'm down. You can read his lips, because he didn't believe that he was down on the scorecards, but he was down. And then Crawford and the team was like, okay. And then he got the stoppage. Go ahead and charge this thing up, make sure it don't die. No, sir. Can't have that thing die on me. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very exciting fight. I think that it's just great for boxing, tremendous for boxing. I'm glad that it's finally happened. It may be happening a little bit too late because Errol Spence Jr. is 33, Terence Crawford is 35. But, hey, at least it ain't like Floyd and then where Floyd is like 38 or something like that and Manny's 30-something. So, at least it ain't that late. I think this is happening, maybe not in their prime, but probably the back end of their prime, but they're still technically in their prime. So I think it's, right about just on the money. Boy, am I excited for this, man. Y'all comment down below, though. Y'all got Crawford Spence. Some people have it 50-50. Some people have it, a little bit less, a little bit more for this guy. I don't know. How do you have it? I think it's perfectly even. I don't think it's 45, whatever. I think it's literally 50-50. Literally 50-50. Because both of these guys have knockout power. Both of them have speed. Spence is the bigger dude. He's naturally bigger. If you look at Spence, like around his walk around weight, that dude is probably like 170, 175. He's big. He's a big dude, and he's taller than Crawford. But that don't mean, height and weight don't win fights, like that. They're going to both come in weighing at they're going to have to weigh the same thing. Is the fight at 154 or 157? I've heard something about, obviously, I know it's going to be a rematch clause, and it could be potentially a third fight. And then they also said, whoever wins could potentially, face up against the Charlo because he's at 154 and fight him as well. So y'all comment down below. I didn't really get that if it was at 147. Is the fight officially going to be at 147 or is it going to be at 154? Or what they're saying after this fight, they'll go up to 154. I wasn't quite sure what they meant by that, but y'all let me know. And y'all let me know, man, who y'all got. I think potentially probably could be a bigger fight than Tank and Ryan. They're going to have to promote the hell out of it for sure because some people gave, like me personally, that's what this caught me off guard because I thought it was never going to happen. Once the last time that they said that, this fight was going to happen and never panned out, I was like, man, I'm over it. I'm over at this point. But it resurfaced, so let's just promote the heck out this fight. I'm going to definitely be promoting it all the time on my TikTok, my YouTube. Any little thing I see in training camp, I'm going to definitely, get my thoughts on it. And But I'm Bud Crawford all day, man. I think he's going to become 40-0 and really just prove the haters wrong. But like I said, it don't matter who wins Spence Crawford. I think it's going to be a rematch either way, and it could potentially be a trilogy. Canelo and Triple G had a trilogy. It could be the same. It could be just as exciting and really, 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 really close fight. I think Spence is the favorite. I think Errol Spence probably is the favorite since he had 3 belts compared to Crawford's 1. But I don't think it'll be like a heavy favorite. It'll probably just be a slight favorite. But yeah, I got Bud Crawford, y'all. Who y'all got? Y'all comment down below, man. Who y'all got on this? Subscribe to my other YouTube, Emmanuel R&D. I think on that one I just hit about 600 subscribers. 400 more away till I get monetized. God is good. And yeah, I've been slacking on the episodes. I got to try to get them out really, really quick for sure. Not really, really quick, but more consistently, man. This is like, man, I'll be taking too long on the podcast for sure, man. It ain't got to be that long. Giving my thoughts on the biggest topics, the biggest that's going on right now. And yeah, I'm going to see y'all next episode, man. Let's wrap it up.